Greetings, everyone. Just going to go over a couple other things in regards to the Great Loop. The main thing I was going to cover today is the reason I'm looking at the kinds of boats I'm looking at now is more so the creature comforts on board the boat. Since after doing the loop, I'm planning on basically living aboard that boat for a while, so therefore I want a full bathroom, preferably not a wet head where the shower is not separate from the main part of the bathroom. You're basically getting everything wet when you take a shower. So I'm looking at a little bit of the bigger on the boat size. Um, People have done the loop on jet skis, modified pontoon houseboats, and all the way up. Some of the things you can look into is CaptainJohn.org. He does a lot of stuff about the loop. Um, a lot of articles on it, what it cost you, the route, recommendations and thoughts on boats. Uh, he himself, I'm not sure if he's still doing it on it, but he runs in a sailboat demasted with the motor because he can, the great fuel efficiency, and it has all the amenities he wants. Uh, Back on the Great Loops website, they have great articles about the cost of running the boat. Mooring fees are about $2 a foot. So anytime marina fees are about $2 a foot. So anytime you go into a marina, the bigger your boat, the more it's going to cost you per day that you're in a marina. So you got to take into consideration of that. Yeah, you can do the loop on a large boat. Do you want to pay the marina fees for it? As Captain John discusses, he'd much rather have the money to go out shopping, go out and do other things than be limited to on his boat, uh, staying on his boat more often, uh, anchored out or tied up to a mooring buoy or something like that, not being able to go out and do anything. There are always a lot of events going on uh, throughout the generally when everyone runs on the America's Great Loop website, and the links to everything I'm talking about here will be down below. They basically go all the way through it. Let's go with Florida East Coast. And you basically wherever you start at, you can pull things up for what you're doing. So you're looking at what you might want to do. They've got all these different marinas listed and other things you can do, podcasts, articles, useful sites, things about going around Florida, where you can go, and pretty much any information you might need you can find on their website. And if you can't find it, if you're a member of the association, they do have forums and classifieds and things like that where you can find information. Their classified ads, they do have boats that are for sale through that their members are selling. Uh, Generally, they're probably going to be fine. Would be fine boats for the loop. There's a couple that might not be. There's some other things on there also, but you've got a lot of information at your fingertips nowadays with the web, and you've got a lot of benefits you can do by joining the association. $85 a year for the association. Join and be a member for the year you do it. Um, I've been a member for almost a year now, and I'm going to keep it active all the way up until I'm done with the loop. There's just too much information you can get. Um, Definitely, minimum a month, 2 months before you take off, I suggest becoming a member just to get the information and figure out where you're going to go. But your oh boat, it doesn't have to be that huge. You've got only two places that would give you any kind of situation. You might not have to wait for more of a weather window. Most of this area down here is coastal cruising. As long as the weather's not horrible, it's not going to be terrible for you. Right through here is one of the only places in the Chesapeake Bay and the Great Lakes where you might be held up an extra day or something because of weather, even though you're generally going through there in good weather times, because the Great Lakes and across here, I believe most of this is in the Atlantic, you might have a little, heavier wave action or something like that where you might not want to take a 20 something foot boat. But even a 20 something foot sailboat, 20 something foot cabin cruiser, you've got your bed, you've probably got a little kitchen, a porta potty, and you'll have to use marinas to get your showers and everything. But you can go very inexpensively. Uh, a 30-foot sailboat, I most of those will go about 7 knots and only burn about a gallon an hour. So once again, you're looking at what you want to spend. So really look into what you want to be able to do while you do the loop. Do you want to have a nightlife? Do you want to have the funds and go out and hit all the touristy areas? Do you want to go to a lot of museums and other things that might be a pay to enter place instead of no cover charges? Do you want to eat out a lot? Do you want to be in marinas most nights? You have to take these things into consideration on your budget and type of boat you're doing. If you're hitting a marina a lot, you might want a 30 something foot boat for a couple instead of that beautiful 44-foot Beneteau Swift trawler. You're going to save $30-$40 a night. Now, 10, yeah, about 20 bucks a night. $20 a night after 300 night, 30. You're looking at a good 300 nights if you're in the marinas almost every night. That's a pretty good chunk of change. Are you going to want to spend that for your nightly stays all the time? And then if you are doing it in sections, the larger your boat, the more you're going to pay to have it in a marina or on the hard while it's parked. All of the fees in dockyards and marinas are by the foot. And if you're cruising a power cat or a sailing catamaran that's been demasted, those prices generally go up because of the width of the boat. Because instead of being able to get two boats into a slip, an opening, there you're only able to fit your catamaran. And that's the biggest issue I've seen with people that run catamarans in the Caribbean, Bahamas, and other locations is if they're in the marina, it costs them a little more in some places because of the space they take up. But look into all this stuff to figure out what it is you want. If you're looking at a very economical loop, your boat is going to be one of the main deciding factors on what your overall cost is going to be. If you're not worried so much about the funds, you've got plenty of funds, the sky's the limit. There's some real high-end boats out there that can do the loop. Myself, Even if I had the funds, I don't think I'd go with a high-end boot for the loop. These 30, 40-foot boats, and for doing the loop, in my opinion, are great, especially if you're single or couples cruising. If you're getting much over 40 feet, 50 feet, yeah, they can be a bit harder to handle without a lot of practice. By the time you're done with the loop, you'll have the practice. Um, and if you haven't been, if you're not a very experienced boater and you don't have a lot of practice with your boats, there are a lot of courses out there. Uh, I'm drawing a blank on the Powerboat Association's name right now. Find a captain, find someone to give you this training. The Coast Guard has some training. Make sure you are aware of the do's and don'ts of boating. Make sure you're aware of how to navigate your boat, or else you're going to get very expensive. It's going to get very expensive very quickly when you go and are running the wrong side of a buoy and you ground yourself out on, hopefully, just a sandbar, not rocks. You ground yourself out on rocks, you might be doing a whole lot of expenses to fix your boat back up. So make sure you are knowledgeable about handling a boat before you do the loop. Most of those courses, especially if you're looking at doing something like the loop, are very inexpensive. Um, there's week-long holidays on some of those courses, that American Sailing Association does, where you're out on a boat learning to sail and the rules about navigation and sailing and boating and all that stuff. $1,500, $2,000 for a week out on the boat. It'll give you an idea if you're going to be comfortable on a boat for overnights and how you're going to be on the waterways. And I'm pretty sure there's some similar things for power boating. But that's going to be it for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. Any comments, concerns, please leave in the messages. I do respond. And my next one, I think I'm going to be going over my views more in depth on what I want on a boat, the amenities I'm looking at. And if I get enough people asking about it, I'll start reviewing some boats out of the price range I'm looking at, or some other things that people might list in the comments. But by all means, thegreatloop.org, captainjohn.org are some great informational sites that will get you started. Thank you. Have a pleasant day.